What is going on, guys? This is the Club of the Man 1993, trucking through, trying to get caught up now, but we are on the current week. Yes, I am missing SmackDown currently, but I'll catch up, of course, later. But the current week, and almost caught up with weekly wrestling content. Still got that live stream I've been saying I wanted to do. But we're here for my Monday Night Raw review from this past week, January 16, 2023. And it took place in, if I can pull up the notes here, where the heck does it say that it happened? I swear. Oh yeah, in Cincinnati, Ohio. Home of former WWE superstar and, of course, current AEW superstar, or AEW wrestler, I'm sorry, Jon Moxley. And also, of course, home of the Cincinnati Reds. Team that featured Ken Griffey Jr., Ken Griffey Sr., Barry Larkin, Adam Dunn, Sean Casey. Okay, I'm sounding like my grandfather now. My grandfather was a huge Cincinnati fan. But anyways, we're here to talk about this past week's episode of Raw. Again, January 16, 2023 in Cincinnati. And I thought it was a good show. I did enjoy the show. I did miss the opening segment, but I did have to go back and watch because I wanted to see that stare down between two people. But again, you know, there's still a few little things I'm gonna go meh about on Raw, but most of the stuff I'm okay. I've been saying for a few weeks now, like some stuff is taking a little bit too long to get into another gear. This Raw, some fresh stuff, some progression. I think the biggest thing though to come out of this episode of Raw is they're continuing to tease more and more of a Hurt Business reunion, which of course I love to see, and I hope to God that's what we're teasing to get. It looks like it. MVP is recruiting, but are they getting another member? Are they? It is somebody who may actually benefit from it. We'll of course talk about that though when we get to it. But yeah, we're going to roll in again. We got, we still got a lot to catch up on tonight as I've been working very hard trying to get caught up tonight. That's why I've dedicated this whole evening just doing nothing but getting caught up. Because, if you haven't seen the post yet, the man's a homeowner. I've got to get that taken care of this weekend. But yes, so anyways, let's continue on and continue talking about wrestling. For Raw this past week. So the show opens up with the Usos and Solo Sikoa coming out. And again, at first when I saw this, again, I keep saying this. For some reason, the storyline with Kevin Owens and the Bloodline. On SmackDown, they're making storyline progression. On Raw, it just feels like filler. I don't know why. And they keep giving Solo Sikoa matches on Raw with, other people that the Bloodline, took out. Okay, I get that. But, to me, it just feels like filler. Part of this did not feel like filler. Part of this actually was a good promo. Because the Usos, again, are having a Raw Tag Team title match on Raw is 30. Is coming Monday. And they have a tournament on SmackDown for a number one contender for the SmackDown tag titles. So that is interesting. For the first time since they won both titles, that they're going to have each set of titles on the line. I am intrigued by that, although I still think, even though it's different, I still think Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens should be the one to dethrone them of both tag titles. Just what I think. But anyways, so the Usos come out with Solo Sikoa. And they say how they run Raw and SmackDown every single week. And how tonight Solo's going to put a beating on Mustafa Ali. But they need to address what happened this past Friday on SmackDown. Again, in case you missed my SmackDown review, the Usos interrupted Sami Zayn's match with Kevin Owens. And basically, Sami Zayn was upset by this because because he was told he had to do this by himself and that, they had faith in him. Now with the Usos interfering the way they did, now Sami's starting to show some doubts. And thinking maybe Kevin was right. Which he may have been. But anyway, so they didn't address Sami Zayn though. I don't believe they ever mentioned Sami Zayn. But they said Owens better earn his lesson to not cross the line of the tribal chief. But they're mentioning they have something huge planned for Raw 30. And the plan is the Bloodline will be at Raw 30. And every generation of the Bloodline will be there to have an acknowledgement ceremony for the Bloodline. And they're also going to defend their tag titles against the Raw tag titles against the Judgment Day. A ceremony, though, where everyone in the Bloodline family acknowledges the tribal chief. I know myself and a lot of people are thinking this. Could this maybe be? Could it be the night we get the return of The Rock? This is going to be uploaded, of course, probably after SmackDown tonight. So, hopefully it doesn't happen on SmackDown tonight, because I'm not watching it until tomorrow. But, could that maybe be when The Rock shows up? We'll have to wait and see, because the second fan favorite probably for the Rumble, even though I still think if The Rock is going to face Roman at Mania, it should be because of the Rumble, but once again, then who's the Rumble winner going to face? Like, I still don't know what's going to happen there. But, anyways. So, then out come the Judgment Day. And, again, this whole thing with the Usos and Judgment Day, okay, it's a different match, but they're both heels. So, that's strange. This promo, though, kind of showed that you don't really have to have the, the dynamics quite there. Some heel-on-heel feuds sometimes could work. But this promo was interesting. Because the Judgment Day came out and said the only thing they need to acknowledge is that they run Raw, and they're running straight through the Bloodline. Finn then thanks ex-Con, as he calls him, Dom, because, they're emphasizing how Dom went to jail for like 30 minutes. That he then thanks Dom for filling in when he got injured last week, and how the Judgment Day ran the whole gauntlet and became number contenders for the Raw tag titles. And Damian Priest says they're going to win them next week and permanently put the red titles back on Raw. And then Dominic gets on the microphone, and before he said anything, he starts smelling. And he looks over, he's like, "Do you smell that, mommy?" Oh, sorry, mummy. And then she goes, "I smell that, Dom Dom." I love the way she said Dom Dom. She's like all chill. Like Rhea's awesome. She's all just so chill. Like she's not afraid of anybody. I love that as a heel for Rhea. She is not afraid of anybody at this time, of course. But she says, "Oh, I smell a Dom Dom." But he says he can smell that the Usos are scared. And the Usos laugh it off, and they remind him of all their records and all the teams they've beaten, including the fact that they beat him and his own daddy to start their reign. And at Raw 30, they're going to welcome them to the Uso Penitentiary. And there was some line in there where, Dom mentioned, you guys don't know what it's like to be in jail for so long, this is that, where it's like, and I think the Usos even, laughed it off and walked away, but I wonder if that was them just kayfabe laughing or for real laughing, because again, the funny thing is the Usos have been to jail more than Dom. Hello, remember their DUIs, Dom? Remember John Cena saying, "You look just like your mugshots" and whatnot. They kind of don't quite have the point there. But anyways, so Dom, I think Dom said something about Solo being lazy. Solo gets in the face of Dom. And then Rhea Ripley just steps right in front of Dom and just gets toe-to-toe, face-to-face with Solo. And I got chills when I saw this. I'm like, it's I can actually believe this. Again, Rhea Ripley, as a heel, whether it's under Triple H or Vince, with the Judgment Day, has been booked the strongest, I'd say. Again, to the point that I'm side with people when they say she's basically the modern day China. I can buy Rhea Ripley having the match against a guy. I can buy Rhea Ripley being a mid-card champion. I can buy Rhea Ripley and Solo Sikoa. And this gave me chills. And she's just like, hit me, hit me. And he's like teasing the Samoan Spike. It's like, do it, hit me, hit me. She dared, and she's like, hit me, hit me. But of course, before he can do anything, Dom takes a shot. And then, actually before that, I think there was a moment where Solo backed off, but then he teased that he was going to actually go through and hit Rhea the Samoan Spike. And then Dom just threw a punch, and then they all brawled until Mustafa Ali randomly got involved and started brawling with Solo because they're supposed to have a match, and they had a match after this. And that, again, this is where it kind of got pointless because Solo and Ali had the match. Solo basically squashed him with the Samoan Spike. Afterwards, though, Kevin Owens attacked Solo and cleared the ring, but then the road agents and referees break it up, and before the table can get destroyed. Like I said, like that part, it just feels filler. Like I said, I care more about the Bloodline and Kevin Owens when it's on SmackDown. Again, on Raw, again, it's just complete filler, it feels like. But the stuff with the Judgment Day and the Usos, I liked it. Again, I just still found it funny how Dom's like, you don't know what it's like to be in jail, but it's like, hello, they're mugshots? DUIs? Like, they've been there longer than you, buddy. Sorry, but, you know, that's that. I believe Finn Balor was actually in the main event, which was the 6-man elimination match for the #1 contendership for the U.S. title for, I believe, next week on Raw. Yeah, for Raw 30. Which, of course, you know, we got that at the end. But, speaking of which, we got Bobby Lashley cutting a promo about how it doesn't matter who you put in front of him. He's winning tonight's #1 contenders match and ending Austin Theory's U.S. title reign next week. We also get another Cody Rhodes vignette covering his rehab and comeback, and he informs us that he will be returning at the Royal Rumble. And I am like, damn it! I say damn it because, again, yes, I do want, I still think the person who should be winning the Rumble is Cody Rhodes. Like, again, Roman Reigns and The Rock. I don't feel like the title has to be defended in that match. I really don't. And again, I'd rather see somebody else win the Rumble. I don't want to see Roman Reigns and The Rock just because if the title's on the line, then it's very obvious Roman's winning that. I mean, he has to win that, but I want that, like, uniqueness. And again, I still think Cody Rhodes should win the Rumble. I mean, again, yes, what else are they going to do? Because, you know, they gotta, you know, at this point have, like, Cody Rhodes fights on one night. But again, if they want to do Roman and The Rock, though, it's like, okay, then, you know, are we really going to have Cody Rhodes lose to Roman Reigns? I still don't know what to do. And again, I keep saying, too, the reason why I'm so pushy about it is, again, WrestleMania's Hollywood this year. Hollywood! If you're going to do Roman Reigns versus The Rock, why would you not do it in Hollywood? If you're not going to do it in Hollywood, when are you ever going to do it again? Like, again, I really don't know. I do not know what they're going to do, but I'm still intrigued. As long as Triple H still has his paws on creative and not him, as I can't stand him. But yeah, so yes. And then the other thing too, again, why couldn't they just leave it as a surprise? Why do they have to advertise that Cody Rhodes is going to be in the Rumble? Surprise us that he's going to be in the Rumble. I missed that. I really, really missed that. Well, then again, if they're leaving The Rock as a surprise, maybe they don't want to completely, you know, wear it out. But still, like, again, we had 3, well, they're rumored, most of them, but we had 3 surprises at All Out 2021. Like, you couldn't leave Cody Rhodes as a surprise. But, you know, I digress. We'll see what happens to this. Anyways, we have Byron Saxton outside of Adam Pearce's office to interview Elias. And of course, Elias once in the Rumble. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It wasn't him. It's someone else. We'll talk about it later. But Elias once in the Rumble. But then MVP rolls up and says, don't bother because the winner is a done deal. And Elias is like, you're entering the Rumble? MVP tells him, if you keep talking like that, he's going to get him a match with the winner of the 2023 Rumble tonight. So that makes you believe that Elias is going to get a match with MVP tonight, right? We'll see about that. Then we have a match, and then immediately after that, we have a match with the Street Profits taking on Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander, who also teamed up last week in the tag team turmoil gauntlet match. And again, they weren't complete heels, but like Shelton showed a little bit more of like a heelish side in this match. Cedric not as much. But again, and then they have MVP in there trying to coach them a little bit. And I think he even tries to cause a distraction. And Cedric tries to get like the sneaky pinfall victory. But instead, the Street Profits roll him up with a schoolboy and get the win there. So it's weird though that they're teasing a Hurt Business reunion. But Shelton and Cedric keep losing. Which, again, does not quite make sense. Like, either the idea is they're going to turn them all heel. Well, we'll get to a possible, fifth member, because if you want to count MVP, there was 4 members. MVP, Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, and Cedric Alexander. But there might be a 5th member teasing, and even then, too, I'm still going to say this. I still don't think Bobby Lashley should be a babyface if they're going to do Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Like, you gotta follow up and do that 3rd match. But again, people want to see Bobby Lashley beat Brock Lesnar. And again, the whole idea, this whole, slow possible heel turn from Bobby Lashley, again, still just doesn't make sense to me. So, if the Hurt Business does reunite, they should be baby faces. But they may be going down the heel route. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't understand, though, why that they're having Cedric and Shelton losing. You would think they would give them some victories, but who knows? But just if they have an interview backstage where Finn Balor is hyping up the 6-pack challenge, and Damian and Dom will be the ones wrestling for the tag titles next week. But before they can talk more about it, Alpha Academy roll up to complain that Finn Balor should have been medically disqualified, and they're going to get their win back tonight on Raw. But then Rhea threatens them, then Dom chimes in and tells Gable, next time... Oh, actually, Gable then tells Dom, next time you're in prison, you should sign up for one of the Alpha's online courses to try to better yourself. Priest tells them to take a walk or they won't make it to the ring. And then Gable says Otis hasn't gotten his steps in. So that's actually a good idea. So then we have... Well, first off, they're seemingly teasing, because after the turmoil last week and this week, they're seemingly starting to tease Alpha Academy going babyface, which I like. Again, I mean, yes, Chad's shown a lot of personality. Of course, since Triple H took over, yes, he's lost a lot, but he's definitely, Alpha Academy is still a strong character team. I really feel like, though, that they're just more meant to be baby faces. Otis, has more of a personality as a babyface. Chad Gable, can work both. I think it's time we turn them face. They're seemingly teasing them going face, though, which I hope still happens. Anyways, though, we got Becky Lynch, who came out through the crowd, hops a barricade. She calls out Bayley. And then out comes Damage Control. And Bayley says she thinks she beat Becky so bad that Becky forgot her name, because her name is Bayley, not Karen. They then bicker, and Becky asks someone to explain to her what a Karen is, and it's an entitled idiot with a crappy haircut. They get in the ring and square up, and then Bayley mocks her for not having any friends. And then Becky says she was the one with a whole arena of friends, and I guess they even said how, let me see here. Oh yeah, that's a little bit later on in a promo. But anyways, but then when Becky says the whole arena is her friends, she also mentions that Bayley peaked in 2015. And I'm like, ouch. Because that honestly is true. Like, yes, you know, Bayley's had, like, her high points in her heel character. Like, okay, like, I'm still gonna be real. I feel like Bayley's heel character really didn't get exposed as to how much the story kind of made sense until she turned on Sasha. Because before that, like, the crap she was given to work with was awful. Awful. Like, who'd she feud with? Like, she dethroned Charlotte. Then she feuded with Lacey Evans. That was forgettable. She had a brief feud with Naomi, and then I think she was feuding with, Tamina? Like, she was feuding with nobodies. And then, of course, whenever Asuka was feuding with, like, both her and Sasha at the same time, they had those stupid-ass finishes to their matches that, again, made her character look horrible. Like, again, I remember there was a point where I was getting white heat for Bayley. But after she turned on Sasha, and the story she had from that, it kind of, like, put a little light on the situation. But again, even now, since she's been back from her injury, and the booking of Damage Control just has not worked. Again, like I said, they brought them in like a female Undisputed Era, and the only thing that just keeps them somewhat afloat is the fact that Dakota Kai and Io Sky have the women's tag titles that they've won twice, like, kind of like unceremoniously. Okay, I'll somewhat, give them an exception on the first time because Aaliyah pinned, the wrong wrestler, but also the fact that he just randomly dropped them to Alexa Bliss and Asuka was totally pointless. So, yeah, Becky's right. Bayley did peak in 2015. Like, she's had her spurts of good moments here and there, but 2015, 2016, that was Bayley at her best. Becky said a point, though. Bayley points out how that was the year she ran NXT while the other horsemen ran off and stole her spot. Becky says Bayley stayed in NXT to be a leader and a champion, or was she full of crap when she said all of that? She was just another body, and she wasn't supposed to change the game and to be the first woman to win the main event of WrestleMania. But she did because she works harder than anyone else. She's going to keep working until she can't anymore, which, again, is very true for crying out loud with, how much she, just launched as a rocket whenever she turned on Charlotte at SummerSlam 2018. She also says how Bayley whines and moans and blames anyone else, but her situation is just her own fault. Bayley is the only reason Becky became the man. Bayley said the only reason why you became the man, Becky, is you got punched in the face by another woman. Which, of course, you can't say Nia Jax, because Nia Jax was released. But Becky says maybe she should punch her in the face to get her out of the rut she's stuck in, or she's going to hide behind Dakota and Io. And then Becky challenges Bayley to the match next week, and she accepts. And then it was like these slow little teases that's going to be something more, until Becky finally said that the match is going to be a steel cage match, which should be good. Apparently it's been a long time on Raw that they've had a women's steel cage match. Because I'm about to say it's been a while since they've had a steel cage match on, Raw or SmackDown, but that is a lie. Because Becky and Alexa, I know, did have a match on SmackDown in 20 in 2017. Yeah, because that was the episode where Mickie James made a return, and she was revealed as La Luchadora. But anyway, so that happens. Dolph Ziggler was getting ready for the 6-man elimination match when Mustafa Ali rolls up to give him a hard time about how he refused to tag with them. And then Ziggler is told nobody gets anything handed to them, and one professional to another, he doesn't have time to pay attention to him today. And then Ali hits him with a forearm to the back and asks if he has his attention now before leaving. So Ali's insisting on teaming up. Maybe, but again, also, I'm still going back to that few weeks ago whenever Dolph did kind of cost him the U.S. title, I think it was. And another thing, too, I'm still wondering, too. I keep saying this. Why still couldn't we get Ali versus Seth Rollins when he was U.S. champ? I still wanted that. But, so we got that. Is Ali going heel? I don't know. We'll see, though. Elias came out to face MVP. But then MVP claims that Elias got confused. And he said that he wasn't talking about him. He was talking about this man. And I believe since the first time since he faced Braun Strowman, we got Omos. Omos coming out. Him and MVP, I guess, are apparently still a thing. But he basically squashed Elias. But that's not the last time we saw Omos. Wait till the very end. Anyways, so Elias won. And then Pierce is an interview backstage, promising us that Raw 30 is going to be unforgettable. He then talks up the main event, but then here comes Akira Tozawa, who's demanding entry in the Rumble. Adam Pearce tells him, you gotta earn it. What? So, again, let me get this straight. You've had people declare themselves in the Rumble. Cody Rhodes, Liv Morgan, Kofi Kingston, Seth freaking Rollins, Bobby Lashley, Austin Theory, Rhea Ripley, few others as well, but Akira Tozawa can't? I mean, okay, yes, he's a low carder, but, like, what? I don't understand. What makes it okay for some people to announce their entry in the Rumble and some have to earn it? I don't get that. But anyways, Tozawa asks for a match to prove himself, and then Pierce was like, I'm not going to promise anything, but I'll give you a match tonight. And then we have Judgment Day and Alpha Academy. Again, Otis and Gable were acting like baby faces in this match, but cool with me. But the Judgment Day do win with the lateral press from Dominic Mysterio, or Dum Dum, on Chad Gable. Then we have Mia Yim wrestling Io Sky. Mia won the match with the Eat Defeat. Candice LeRae came out there to kind of back up Mia Yim. Okay. And then, of course, Candice helped Mia fight off of Damage Control after the match. And then we have the return of Bianca Belair. It's the first time we've seen her since she got beaten to the steel step by Alexa Bliss a couple weeks ago on Raw. Bianca's like, if it were up to her, she'd never miss Raw. But this job is impossible without risks. Like the risk of getting her jaw busted right there on the steel steps. But even if she ends up with a scar, she'd still face Alexa Bliss again, and again, because every risk comes with the reward of remaining your Raw Women's Champion. Alexa comes out, she says she'll gladly come out here and repeat herself for Bianca or anyone else who needs to hear it. She fears her because she doesn't know what to expect from her. And no one does. And at the Rumble, and the Rumble's in 2 weeks. And then Bianca's like, whoa. Are you going to really want to have to go through 29 other women to get a title match against me? You could have just have one at the Rumble, and Alexa's like, cool, and then they brawl, which, odd, okay. So they brawled, and then I think they continued to brawl until they're out in the crowd, And then Alexa sets up for a KOD, but then Uncle Howdy appears under the doorway, and then, of course, like nothing, everything else. That's it! Nothing further than that! Again, I know the payoff's gonna be good. I know the payoff's gonna be good. Just get us to it! But, you know, that match is set for Rumble. Yeah, Akira Tozawa got his match. And yeah, it was Bronson Reed, who had his first match since returning. He basically squashed Tozawa, and he won with the 747 splash. Awesome. Again, I keep saying, I am still very excited. As long as Triple H, again, is in charge, I am still excited about Bronson Reed being back in WWE. Again, I still keep saying this. He was at his peak. I mean, no, he wasn't at his peak. He was really, like, grasping his niche before he got released. And then he went to New Japan, did awesome there as Jonah. Apparently he squashed Kazuchika Okada. So, yeah, book him right. He's going to be main event. He's going to be a main eventer before you know it. Anyways, Seth freaking Rollins was interviewed backstage about the 6-pack challenge. He's going to win the U.S. title back next week after he wins the 6-pack challenge. Then he'll win the Rumble. And then he'll go on to main event WrestleMania and kick Roman Reigns' ass as only he can. Which, again, is true. Because of, again, he seems to be one person that Roman just cannot beat when it comes to the big moments like that. Which, again, is very true. And basically hypes that up. We have the main event. It was a 6-man elimination match for the U.S. title. Again, it was Baron Corbin, the wrestling god. I'm sorry, Baron Corbin, the wrestling god. Bobby Lashley, Dolph Ziggler, Finn Balor, Seth freaking Rollins, and The Miz, with Austin Theory being on commentary. The match was fine. Seth Rollins eliminated The Miz first with a blackout. Then later on in the match, Seth then eliminated Dolph Ziggler with a pedigree. Seth Rollins also eliminated Finn Balor with the blackout. So Seth Rollins dominated this match for the most part. And then down to 3, Bobby Lashley. Now, here's where, at some point in the match, though, I believe it was here, Omos came out with MVP. Now, of course, if you remember, MVP turned on Bobby Lashley and aligned with Omos. And Lashley's like, what are you guys doing? Well, Omos then seizes to help Lashley. As Lashley would then eliminate Corbin because Omos I think like interfered in the match and like took out Seth Rollins. And I noticed a time where Seth Rollins had to take out Omos, but because of all these distractions Omos caused, Lashley was able to get the victories over Corbin, and then of course Seth Rollins, and become the number one contender. So, are they reuniting the Hurt Business but adding Omos? Because again, let's face it, I keep saying, I ain't a fan of Omos. I'm really not. As a single star. But, let's say they're doing this thing where they make him, they reunite the Hurt Business, but they kind of make like Omos kind of like an enforcer. Like how Solo Sikoa is. Like an upstart who's like not like completely highlighting the group, but he's valuable. If that's the case, to kind of like ease back on Omos and be more of like an enforcer rather than like a main single star, that might not be a bad idea. Although again, I'm still not sure what direction they're going with this, whether the Hurt Business is going to be heels or baby faces. I still think they should be baby faces. I would really like to see the Hurt Business be baby faces because everybody wants it. Everybody loved the Hurt Business. when they were around before. And they hated that they broke them up unceremoniously, which apparently, again, the main reason was because Vince McMahon didn't want Drew McIntyre booed at WrestleMania 37, which I get it, but sometimes you got, I mean, I didn't want Drew booed either. I still was one saying I felt bad Drew didn't get his WrestleMania moment in front of fans at WrestleMania 36, and I felt bad he had to lose WrestleMania 37, but that was Bobby's moment. That was Bobby's moment, and Drew, again, will get his moment someday. But I'm intrigued to see what happens with that. Like, for once, if they put Omos with the Hurt Business, I'm not 100% against it. I don't completely love it, but I'm like, it's something I'm willing to see the cards unfold with. But we'll see what happens. But that was Raw. I talked a little more about Raw than I thought I would, but you still got to do Dynamite and SmackDown for this week. But, well, once I watch SmackDown, of course. But, we'll roll with it, though. But, yeah, I gave this show a B. I'll give Raw a B. Again, I do like the teases of the Hurt Business. I did like the, well, minus the stuff with Kevin Owens in the Bloodline. Like the Bloodline Judgment Day. Intrigued by that. Still love that stare down with Rhea Ripley and Solo Sikoa. But there were some things that, intrigued me about this episode of Raw. I'll give it to that. So see what happens for Raw 30. Next time on Raw Reviews. In this, but anyways, that's my thoughts on Raw this week. What are your guys' thoughts on Raw as well? Are you guys also intrigued by Raw 32? Not 32. By Raw 30 as well. Not Raw 32, Raw 30. Make sure to leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. Be sure to, oh, goodness, it's already Raw 30? I feel like it was just yesterday we were doing Raw 25. That show sucked. But anyways, please make sure, guys, to leave your thoughts down in the comments section below. Be sure as always to slap a like on the video, subscribe for more content on my channel, and follow me on Twitter at the Club of the Man 93. Be sure as always to shout for people sub, and follow me on TikTok at the Club of the Man 1993. Hopefully soon I can try to get some content on there. Hopefully soon I'll get the new intro done as well. But that will come someday, my friends. So until then, guys, I'm checking out. I'll catch you all later. Have a great rest of your night. Peace out, everybody.